issue that John, this is my interpretation. I'm not going to hold you to this. This won't get you into heaven and it won't keep you out. But why was John offended? What was it that offended, that would make John? Here's my little, college dropout interpretation. I believe John had an expectation of Jesus. And when Jesus didn't come up to that expectation, it made him ask some questions.
That's a good one.
That's me now. I dropped out of college, so you ain't got it. I believe John had, because his question is, now here's what I was thinking. So now, I don't see you doing it, because if I saw you doing it, then I wouldn't have this question. But I got this question because something in my mind or even in my spirit is not settled. Listen to Jesus' answer. He tells them, go back and tell John what you saw and what you heard. Don't go back and tell him what I said. Because the true testimony is in the work. But even though I'm doing the work, you don't recognize it. Because you're looking for something that I'm not doing. And because you're looking for something I'm not doing, it raises up questions. Why do you think women look at their wives, look at their husband and say, do you love me? Why you? Well, I was just, just something in my mind. At some point, you miss something. Now, it may not have been big to you, but they saw it and it made them question. Now, forget the fact that they got a roof over their head and a Lexus in this. That's got nothing to do with anything, but forget the fact that they got all the designer fragrances. Minks and leathers and watches and rings. This is 2010, brother. That was 35 years ago, all that stuff you talking about. That's 35 years ago. This is a brand new year, brother. I want to know in January 2010, do you love me? Because, brother, when was the last time you, in 2010? I'm not talking about what you did in that blue car and all that stuff. I'm talking about in 2010. There is an expectation, and because Jesus did not do what many of them, think about it. The Jews were under Roman oppression.
Yes, they were.
And when they talked about, the prophecy said, the government shall be upon his shoulder. In other words, he's going to be a political force. And when he comes, he's going to raise up a kingdom, and we are going to reign.
That's what they look for.
So they were disappointed because he didn't come in riding on a white stallion. He came in riding on a donkey. He can't be the one, because the one we're looking for ought to be on a white stallion. He shouldn't be on a donkey. You remember when the prophet Samuel went down to Jesse's house? God said, go down there because there's a man there I've anointed. And he said, bring your sons in. And then big old boys begin to come in. Certainly that's the one, because the first king God chose was King Saul. And King Saul stood head and shoulders above all the other men. So certainly if God's going to replace Saul, he's going to get somebody big and strong. And so he brought in those big boys. All the boys come through there. And then the Lord never spoke, said, ain't you got another? Yeah, we got one, but he's a little touched. He's a little touched. Tedra, he sings to the sheep. He's a little touched. He be out there making up songs and everything, getting happy, dancing and going on. He a little touched. Said, well, I know the Lord sent me here, so go get him and tell him to come in here. David come in. Now you understand, he's been out there with the sheep all day in the hot sun, ripping and running and playing. He doesn't smell, you know, like Irish Spring. You know, he probably got his own personal flies following him, you know. Shelby smiling again. Stop that, Shelby. And so he comes in, and God says, that's the one.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Ready?
Yeah.
And the water. No, that ain't him. That boy smells. That boy reeks. Yeah, that's the one. Here's the deal. You see him the way he is today. I see him in his divine appointment. And so today, the way you look doesn't offend God. Because when God looks at you, he looks at you and sees your divine appointment.